Hi, Tim Horschler with New Voyager Trading, doing another Tim Talks for you today, and we're going to be putting the Kromski Interlude spinning wheel together. It's just about a perfect wheel for almost every spinner, but when you receive it, it's going to be in a box with parts, so we want to take all of these parts and turn them into this finished product. And so follow along with me here now, and we'll go through the steps. Our first step is going to have us put the wheel posts on the bench. And there are two wheel posts. They're identical. Doesn't matter where you go. There's a large hole at the bottom side of the post. That's where we're going to slide in that round, heavy barrel nut. Put one of those into each of these holes. And then underneath you're going to use a large washer and a centering washer, and you're going to attach these posts to the bench and leave them a little bit loose here, because the next step is going to have us make sure that these posts are in alignment. But as you tighten these up, use your Allen wrench that's supplied with your interlude to make these work. This step, we're going to make sure the wheel posts are aligned with each other, and we're putting a ruler set into the notches here, as you see, and we want to make sure the back wall of those notches are in the same line, the same plane as the back side of the ruler. Once that's done, you can go underneath the bench and tighten up those bolts for the final time. We want to place the legs into the bench. You've got three legs. They're all a little bit different. The leg with no holes at the bottom here, that goes towards the back or away from you. And then you have a long post here, that's to your left, and the shorter post goes over here to the right, and both of these posts have a hole in them for the treadle rail. You can install this back leg first, and then I like to sit like this and hold the wheel, and you have to work in both the posts and the treadle at the same time, and you want all of these posts down here to line up with the registration marks that have been placed on the legs and the bench, so you get the proper angle, particularly with these front posts. They have to be in line so this treadle will rotate. So you want to make sure you're copying those registration marks, and we recommend a hammer or a mallet and drive these legs home so they're well in there. Now we're going to mount the wheel to the posts over here. Take the wheel and slide on this little brass bushing. Goes on the straight end of the axle. Before you put the wheel in place, you want to take your drive band and drop it over this front post so it's going to be in position. And now the wheel comes down and sits in the notches of the posts. And now you're going to be using these wooden pegs to secure the wheel to the post, and they just go over the top of the axles here and through the other side. You got your drive band on here now, and we're making progress. This is what we call the mother of all. You've got a base unit here. You got two posts with leather bearings in them. We call these maidens. You've got an adjusting screw over here that's going to help us with the elevation and tightness of the drive band, and over here is part of the braking system. You're going to have two eye hooks back over here in the back. There's little holes drilled already, and you have another eye hook on this other side of the base. That's to hang your threading hook. These hooks here at the back, we recommend that you open them just slightly so you can take your brake band, has a spring on it, and you can just slip it on over that eye hook. That'll mean less work as you change bobbins back and forth as you're spinning. So get this ready. There is a carriage bolt that goes down through this hole here, and that's how we're going to secure it to the bench. This is the other part of the flyer, a bobbin and a flyer. Put that bobbin on now, put the large end pulley towards the back end of the spindle here. That's what that metal rod is called, a spindle. And you're going to take it and you're going to be putting it on the mother of all between those two maiden posts. Now we'll be working with the Footman. You need to put a plastic connector, you've got it in your parts bag, at the bottom of the Footman. Secure it to the Footman and the treadle with the screws that are there. And up at the top you're going to slip the Footman over the crank. There's a brass bushing there at the end of the crank. Gently slide that, open up the Footman, slide it over that bushing, and then secure with the nut and bolts that's already installed there in the Footman. Okay, making progress. We've got the mother of all situated here on the end of the bench. An adjustment you want to make initially is for the tracking of the drive band. And you'll notice that this mother of all can slide in those slots at the end of the bench. And what you want to do is turn the wheel, put the drive band on the middle groove here on the flyer, turn the wheel and see how the drive band tracks up here. And then move your mother of all assembly one way or the other. So you've got the drive band tracking nearly in the center of the wheel. It's not critical one way or the other, but do the best you can, and then come on underneath the mother of all and tighten up that wing nut that holds everything in place. Okay, some last minute things to do. You've got a small wooden plug here. You can place that over the carriage bolt that's underneath the mother of all, just to hide the head of that carriage bolt. You have a threading hook, and if you choose to mount it on the wheel, that's what that third eye hook is for. You can put that right over here. You can see we've got the 3-bobbin Kate rack over here. That's adjustable with a wing nut underneath it. When you're not using it, you can remove it or rotate it out of the way. So we've got the wheel all assembled and it's ready to go. Let me show you some maintenance locations where we're going to oil this wheel, and then you can get out some fiber and start spinning. Every spinning wheel is going to need some maintenance as you go along day to day and using it. Oiling is going to be the most important thing. Here at the bushings that are on the axle of the wheel, you want to oil here and towards the back. On the flyer over here, you've got leather bearings here. Those should be saturated with oil. So you might want to take this off, take the posts out, and pour a little 30-weight oil in a dish and touch the leathers into that oil, and it'll suck up that oil into the leather, which is a good thing. Leave that overnight and you're all done. Here on the flyer, the spindle, the metal spindle that goes through the middle of the flyer, you want to lubricate that both front and rear, or rear and front, whichever. Get some oil on there, and even every time you change your bobbin, you might want to put another drop right here. It's going to help. You can put a little oil down here on the treadle rails here where the pins go through the legs, but it doesn't actually move much even when you're treadling fast, so chances are it won't need it at all. And the last thing to note is this adjusting screw here in the middle. This is what gives you the angle of your flyer, and you want just enough tension on it that when the wheel goes around, the flyer goes around. Check our video on tensioning an elastic drive band on a single drive wheel. We'll show you the proper way to do that, because you don't want any more tension on this drive band than is necessary for everything to work. So we're here in the finished form is the interlude. I hope these instructions have helped you. Check out those other videos we have on other aspects of spinning. And thanks for thinking of a Kromski wheel when you were ready to buy. We appreciate it.